The cut. Simple, ubiquitous, invisible. What is it? Why does it work? And how can you use it correctly? A cut is the instantaneous transition from one camera angle to another. It's hard to imagine cinema without the cut. It controls the flow of information, directs the viewer's attention, and sets the pace. Yet, once upon a time, movies only featured one shot. Hey guys, I'm Chris, lead trainer at Film Editing Pro. Jump in, buckle up, and hang on. In this 4-part series, we're going to examine the topic of what drives the cut. Quick note, for a steady stream of new tutorials from professional Hollywood editors, be sure to subscribe to the Film Editing Pro channel and turn on notifications. Okay, let's begin. First, we need to talk history. In the earliest days of cinema, movies were short vignettes of variety acts, a train, a dancer, a magic trick. But grander things were to come. As cinema transitioned from a novelty to a serious storytelling medium, it simply mirrored theater. Most films were shot in a tableau style, French for living picture. You set up a scene, turn the camera on, the action plays out, the scene ends, and you turn off the camera. Cutting of the film was used simply to trim stock to length or to assemble related scenes in a linear sequence. There wasn't really any cutting within the scene. For example, in 1898, Robert W. Paul made Come Along Do. An older couple is having lunch outside an art exhibition, and they decide to follow some people inside. The camera cuts to a shot that shows what they do inside. This marks a significant development in editing, which our trainer Leon is going to explain in more detail.
Cutting between different locations was an important milestone, but not revolutionary. Cinema's closest facsimile, theatre, had long made use of multiple sets in a single story. So, it was a natural evolution in film for new camera angles or locations to be required as the story played out. However, these kinds of cuts were more pragmatic than creative. The cut was still capable of more, a lot more. Filmmakers across the globe began to experiment. 1903 saw the release of Life of an American Fireman and The Great Train Robbery. Both featured cross-cutting, a then uncommon technique of cutting between events occurring simultaneously in different locations, creating a composite film, one where the narrative was made of two or more different yet intertwined threads. But a lack of variety in the framing and sizing of shots hindered the edit's creative potential. Even revolutionary films like Battleship Potemkin featured mostly medium or wide shots, and the art of filming a scene with coverage was not yet commonplace. In 1928, Carl Theodor Dreyer made dramatic use of close-ups in The Passion of Joan of Arc. While he certainly didn't invent the close-up, no previous filmmaker had used them so extensively, almost exclusively within a scene. Why was this significant? By showing just one thing in the frame, a close-up excludes everything else in the scene. There is little need to cut between different wide shots as they will both contain similar information, i.e. everything, but a close-up is different. This new style of cinematography allowed for a revolutionary edit, one where the editor could cut within the scene, not just in between scenes or when a change of angle was needed to follow the action. It's easy to overlook how unlikely these developments in cinema were. Cutting is counterintuitive, especially within a scene. It doesn't mirror our real-life experience. Think about that for a minute. Our perspective is constant and unchanged. If you were to attend a play in a theatre, unless you really want to annoy the other patrons by wandering around, your view of the stage does not change. Or say if you hiked to a panoramic viewpoint, but decided you wanted a closer perspective. It could take you hours or even days to achieve that. Yet an edit allows the filmmaker to change your perspective and even travel through time in the blink of an eye. It's no wonder these techniques took so long to develop. The cut had transitioned from being a pragmatic tool, one used to assemble scenes shot on different reels, follow the action, or to hide the process of filmmaking, to being a creative tool, one that could be called upon to add drama and interest to a story.
By the 1930s, the editor had a comprehensive toolbox. They had an understanding of best practices, thanks to concepts like the 180-degree rule. They had an understanding of the power of editing, thanks to the work of filmmakers like Lev Kuleshov, who demonstrated how careful selection of the shots in an edit can imbue meaning, with his infamous tests of the expressionless model. And finally, they were starting to understand a variety of compositions and angles, thanks to directors like Carl Theodor Dreyer, who popularized close-ups with his sensational coverage in The Passion of Joan of Arc. The art of editing exploded, and by 1934, the Best Film Editing category was added to the 7th Annual Academy Awards. Film editing was becoming recognized as an art form unto itself, not just a tool for filmmakers to stitch together their footage. Cutting technology remained relatively unchanged for almost a century, until in the 1980s, digital nonlinear editing was invented. No longer inhibited by having to physically cut and splice film together, editors could more easily experiment, spurring further growth and creativity. As obvious and natural as the cut feels to us now, its invention was not obvious or intuitive. Will the cut make cinema better, or will it make it worse? Just because you can cut, should you? How can editing contribute to the development of the story? To answer these questions, you're going to have to wait till part 2. In this next episode of the series, we'll be exploring the concept of micro and macro editing and how we can use both to tell a compelling story with film. Be sure to like and subscribe so you won't miss it. We'll see you next time. Hey there! For tons more free editing training, head over to our website at filmeditingpro.com/free training. Here you can download free editing guides along with high-quality video training courses created by our team of professional Hollywood editors. Our tutorials cover a wide range of editing topics, like cutting awesome movie trailers, editing action scenes, how to work with music and sound design, and a lot more. All of these free guides and videos are available at filmeditingpro.com/free training. I'll see you next time.